Okay, wait, we're ready now. What's up, Wheaties? My name is Hailey.
And I'm Jolene.
And welcome back to another episode of Wheat Queens.
Right, so thank you guys so much for listening to our episode last week. We really loved all the support you guys gave us, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. It is the week of January 12th to 18th, 2020, and we're going to be talking about how to make friends in university and just friendships in general today.
Right, so something that we didn't do last episode was properly introduce ourselves. So I'm Hailey. I'm a second-year philosophy major. I haven't quite decided on a minor yet, but I'm kind of leaning towards political science right now.
Have you even taken a political science class?
I'm taking one this semester.
Solid.
I've taken the intro course right now.
Right now? Yeah.
Right
and
now.
You're just like, 1 weekend, yes, this is my minor.
This is it. I don't know, I like politics, and I think it's apropos because as I've planned it out, I want to go to law school in Ontario after I finish my BA to become a social justice lawyer. So,
It's snazzy.
yeah. I love the arts as well. I enjoy film and music and theater and good books. I'm a self-published poet and a Instagram poet because that's a thing. I post on there semi-consistently.
Pretty regularly, actually.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on, like, what's going on. Like, if you're feeling really inspired, I find, like, you're posting, like, several things a day or, like, a lot in a week. And then sometimes you go through, like, periods where it's like, oh, exam time, I'm not really writing poetry right now.
Yeah. And that's that on me. I also have my beautiful girl, the love of my life, my 3-year-old English bulldog Maggie.
She's a snotty babe.
Yeah.
I'm Jolene, as you guys have heard. I am also a second-year art student at Brandon U. I am majoring in psychology, and I'm currently double minoring in gender studies and the sociology of crime and deviance.
Ooh, she's an intellectual.
Ooh, she is! So for me, like, going forward, I know I told you guys last week, like, don't think too far ahead. And really, I haven't thought that far ahead, but, I know I want to finish this degree, and I know what I want to get this degree in, and I know I want to go to some type of grad school after. And I'm looking at going in, getting my PhD in psychology, working as a clinical counselor, or something with psychology. Forensic psychology is a real thing, and that could be interesting. Or I'm looking at maybe going to law school and being a criminal prosecutor. Where the money is not, but the police don't hate you.
Oh.
Just more about me and, like, my personal life. I have a very sweet 5-pound Shih Tzu. Her name is Gizmo.
A shit poo, actually.
A shit poo. Don't be rude to her. She is adorable, and I did name her Gizmo because she actually does resemble a gremlin. Although she doesn't quite resemble Gizmo, Gizmo never really turns into a gremlin in that movie. She more closely resembles, I think it's Spike or Stripe.
Stripe?
Stripe?
Because he has, like, the stripe,
stripe in his hair, yeah.
He has, like, a mohawk. Sick.
Yeah, she's so cute. She's got wicked snaggletooth and huge ears. But, I love her so much. I am also a photographer. And you can find my photography on Instagram. You can find it. I have my own website. I have my own Facebook page. I have a little business that I do with it. I really like to do people's grad shoots, their weddings, families, stuff like that, because that is where the money is. I'm starting to get back into art photography a bit, but I haven't really posted any of it. Haven't really thought too much into it, but hopefully I'll get there, maybe. Give me a follow anyway if you like my work, or hire me. Because I do things very cheaply.
I know my poetry account is linked to my main Instagram account. Is your photography account on Your
It
main
is.
account?
Yeah, it is. I think it's in my bio, along with Brandon Yu Psychology. But I put, like, the little psi symbol, like the Greek letter psi, because that's bougie, right?
Hey, you can take photos of me too, because I don't know if I've ever told you this, but a Reiki healer once told me randomly that I was a model in a past life, so.
You're really holding on to that still.
Yeah, I don't, I am a model, so.
All right, back to the point of this episode, guys. We're talking about friendships, making new friends in university. So give you a little bit of foundation of why we think we can talk about this. If you couldn't already tell just from our little
Back and forth,
our little rants here, me and Hailey have been friends for almost 13 years.
12-ish, we round
12-ish,
up
yeah.
here.
We met September 2007. We were in the 2nd grade.
Yeah, we were both, like, the new kids.
We were...
We're both military brats. So, like, I had just moved here to Brandon from, Ontario. Where did you move from?
Shiloh, Manitoba. Yeah, mostly it was just a school switch. I had been living in a PMQ in Shiloh with my family, and that was when we finally saved up enough money to get our own house, and we moved to Brandon, so I had to switch schools.
Right, yeah. You had, like, blue streaks in your hair.
Yeah, I was quite the little punk, you know, I had
Trendsetter.
actual blue, that was really dyed, and then I had a fake pink clip-in as well.
Oh, I thought the blue was a clip-in too.
No, the blue is real. So here's the thing, is I wanted to dye my whole head blue. And my mom was like, no. But she did agree to let me dye just a little streak in it. And her justification for that is, if you let them do it when they're young, they won't do it when they're older. And lo and behold, I never dyed my hair as a teenager.
Remember when I had my hot pink dip dye?
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you.
That was really something.
I truly peaked there at 12 years old.
That was quite something.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just became friends out of, like, that circumstance of similarity. We were both new, and both of our parents were in the military.
You know, I don't actually have any conscious memory of ever meeting you.
Me neither.
I don't actually remember how we became friends. I just know that all of a sudden we were.
I actually have, like, a very, like, visceral memory of, like, evidently we became friends. Don't ask me how, but I do have, like, one of my very earliest memories of you and I as friends is, like, I came over to your house for a play date, and we had, like, the same teddy bear.
Yeah,
and
we did.
They were both dressed in little military uniforms, except yours is a polar bear and mine was a grizzly bear.
So we actually got those bears. They were selling them at the base in Shiloh for the families to purchase when parents were going to war.
You know, use capitalism to,
Yeah, to
drown yourself in capitalism to distract from how sad this is.
Yeah, that was another thing when we were both in the 2nd grade, is both of our fathers served in Afghanistan that year. And we did get those bears. I mean, there was only 3 colors. They were selling them when they were getting shipped off. So we did have that. I think
Maybe that's why we became friends. Maybe
Yeah.
your moms were like, ooh, another military kid. Go, Hailey.
Oh,
Go talk to her.
Yes.
We're actually,
Push your sorrows together.
I don't anymore, but I used to live, like only a block away from you.
Yeah, just
And
down the
so-
street.
So yeah, we would just, like, bike towards each other's houses, and we'd meet at that mailbox.
Yeah, we did. It was so sweet. You don't live that far away from me now. Fun fact for you guys, Hailey actually left me a couple years after that.
Right.
Dad got posted again. My parents got divorced, so when he got posted, I did not go with him.
Oh. No, me and my family, we moved to Quebec. Well, we lived in Quebec. We were posted to Ottawa, so we lived, like, 5 minutes across the river. And that was when I was 12, 11,
12,
12. I was
11.
going into the 6th grade.
Yeah. Yeah, you moved, you moved, and then about 3 or 4 weeks later is when my parents separated. So it was a really crushing summer, for an 11-year-old.
But yeah, and then, like, throughout, the 3 years?
Yeah,
Three years that I was in
middle school.
In Quebec/Ottawa, we, like, kept up this, like, pen pal situation consistently.
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, we both, I think, got cell phones around the 7th grade, and yet we would still write each other letters, and I think we actually wrote each other more letters than we ever sent each other text messages, or called, or sent emails.
And you would, like, decorate yours. You, like, gave me drawings and stuff.
Yeah, I, like, used to send, like, little gifts, maybe, like, a little sticker in, my envelope. I had, like, this really nice stationery that came with, like, fancy envelopes and everything. I was really into it. I just love paper.
Didn't we have this thing where we would, like, design different peace signs?
We did.
Oh my god.
It was like a sign-off.
Yeah. Peace out.
Anyways, as you can see, Hailey did move back here in high school, and we just really reconnected, and
it was kind of instantaneous. It was so nice.
It was really, yeah. And we just started high school together, and we were friends all the way through. And we're still friends now.
Well, we had our blips. Like,
I mean,
in high school.
every friendship has their blips, but I would say that that even during, like, our blips, we, like, still referred to each other as friends.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's always, like, some part of you that ends up, like, reinventing yourself at certain points in your life, and I think high school is a big one. So, you know, we were finding our own little niches, and sometimes they would, like, stray from where the other was. Like, you got really into photography. Yeah. And I was, you know, mostly in the music building. No, in the
music hallway.
I was mostly in the music room.
Yeah. And also, like, I know, like, a lot of times, like, our interests would differ, and then they, like, kind of cross back together. So you would be super into theater, you'd be, like, you know, lead in the production.
And you did student council.
Yeah, student government and stuff. Yeah. That was where I was. But we still, even through that, still managed to, like, find time to stay friends.
I'm so happy. Just, like, on, like, a really soft note, I'm so happy that we've managed to form such a strong friendship where, like, sometimes we can go certain amounts of time without actively seeing one another that much, and we still, like, once we get together after that, it still just, like, clicks back into place. And
yeah, I think a true friendship should be.
Yeah.
That no matter how far apart you are, how much time you spent apart, when you guys get back together, you see each other, and it works. It's like nothing's past at all.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Oh.
Right, well, how do you guys get this? How do you make friends in university? University is another time of just sort of reinventing yourself. You're now a young adult. You're just figuring things out. Maybe you're on your own now. You've moved out. Maybe you're in an entirely new city you've never been to before. Maybe you went there once for, like, to register. But how do you do that? How do you make friends?
I think one thing I noticed most in my first year was the fact that everyone seemed very eager. Everyone was very eager to start this new chapter, be independent and whatnot. So I found that, like, for the most part, people were friendly and they, like, wanted to talk to me. And, like, if I was in, like, I had an English class and I just asked someone if anyone was sitting beside them, and they were like, no. And the classroom was packed, so I just sat beside them. And they immediately, like, jumped into a conversation with me. They're like, what's your major? And, like, they just wanted to know stuff about me. So I think, like, definitely just being open to conversation. Like, open yourself up, be friendly, smile, and say hello to people. Even, like, not necessarily to open up the conversation. If it doesn't open up, then I guess it wasn't meant to be. But
What a question that is, though. I find like that's like the number one question like somebody who doesn't know you is gonna ask you in university. What's your major? Now, I'm not saying that's not a good
It's
question.
typical.
It tells you a little something about the other person. Maybe you get like a little prejudice about it. You're like, oh, you're a physics major? Ooh. But don't let somebody's major deter you. Also, definitely use that question, but come up with something original.
Yeah. It's kind of a
It could be
typical
refreshing.
go-to. But, if you get nervous and that's all you got, just go with it. What's your major?
What's your major? Yeah.
Most people that asked me that had no clue what their major was anyway, and neither did I.
It's just like I think people's go-to. It's
an
like
opener.
you're on a campus, you're like, oh, what's your major?
Yeah. If you want to be someone's friend, just get your foot in the door somehow. Even if it's with like a stereotypical question like that. Mm-hmm. Something else is go to university events. We have events and activities that are hosted by the Brandon University Student Union, and we have things like sports events.
There's lots of things. BUSU does put on quite a number of events. Last week they had all those snow orientation events we told you guys about. The Evans Theater does movies every weekend. There are fitness classes at the Healthy Living Center you guys can go to meet new people. I'm trying to think what else there is. I mean, we're not a huge campus, so we don't always have something going on, but there are quite a number of socials that go on throughout the year, whether it's by the different clubs that are putting them on or just the local bars that are putting up posters at our campus because they know their demographic. There is typically something that you can find yourself at where you would meet new people.
Yeah. On that note, also join clubs. And when I say clubs, like, university clubs are sometimes really difficult to enter into. And there's, like, for some reason, paperwork. It's not like high school where you could just, like, go to every single club every other lunch hour and still, like, keep up with your academics and stuff. So, like, I understand how it could be difficult. But maybe not even necessarily clubs, but, like, finding something you enjoy doing and seeing the people within that group as well and reaching out to them based on like your common interests. Like I got into a little bit of D&D this summer, which kind of nerdy, but it's fun. And it helps you make friends if you find other people that enjoy playing that game or just taking part in that activity.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, if you actively want to find yourself a group of people to hang out with, you can do it. That being said, I totally understand that it is hard sometimes, especially for all you introverts out there. I hear you. I'm with you. You might not think it when you're listening to this. You're like, oh, wow, what an extrovert. But no, I'm a social introvert, is what I like to say about myself. I do like to go out and be with some people, but I like to be with my people. And then I always like to go home and be with myself and my dog. I just recharge that way.
Yeah. I think, like, something everybody says, and so it's, like, kind of like a dumb piece of advice, but, like, people say, like, step out of your comfort zone, just be yourself. And I'm like...
that's kind of a bullshit line. Although...
No, it is, but it's also not.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't,
Like, when we say be yourself, we don't mean to say, like, be, like, an extroverted version of yourself.
No. Just don't reinvent yourself to the point where you're not recognizable anymore.
Yeah, that's the other thing, like, that I wanted to talk about, is that this whole, like, concept of reinvention. Where, like, I think people, when they enter university, they're entering adulthood. It's a new chapter. Some people are, like you said, living on their own, living in a new city. All in all, it seems like a really good moment to kind of reinvent yourself or evolve into, like, the you want to be.
Well, and it's especially hard nowadays when you go on social media and all you see is these, like, super glamorous pictures of people. Like, they're putting out their best versions of themselves. And you have to know, like, that's not real. That's not all the time. So you don't have to be that person all the time outside of social media.
You constantly tell me that my Instagram feed looks beautiful, but it also looks nothing like I do in real life.
Yeah, it's quite
true.
something. Like, it's a beautiful aesthetic. Like, there's so much going on there. I love it. Be sure to check it out, guys. It really is something.
Thanks for the plug.
Yeah, I mean, even my Instagram account is definitely an aesthetic.
You're a photographer.
It's filters and everything, but that's not really who we are all the time.
It's just important to be genuine. Because I don't really want to be friends with someone who's just like, "What's your major?" And then like it's like they don't know what to do next because they're just not comfortable. And sometimes I can tell when you're not comfortable, and I'll try to like ease you into a better conversation, but it's difficult. And I understand when people are shy, or you're like, I have social anxiety, because it's like I can't just tell people to just be yourself. But to a certain point, I think it's like something you need to do. You need to find some aspects of your personality that you feel good about, you feel comfortable with, and not reinvent yourself so much as amplify those things about yourself that you feel good about.
Right. And I mean, we're talking how, like, it is difficult to continue a conversation with somebody who doesn't know how to get past what's your major. But if that is you, and, you know, maybe you are talking with somebody and, like, they are struggling to keep up with the conversation, don't shut them out just because they can't get past that. Maybe try and help guide them through it. They might be just as nervous as you are, and so they really, really pushed themselves to even ask you that question. So try and help them, and then they can help you.
I can say with almost 100% certainty that, like, that's another thing. That's a hot tip, is that everyone is just as scared as you. So, like, if you're hesitant, they're probably feeling the exact same way.
We're all spooked. Another just point on different types of friends, really, is it's great to make those, like, lasting bonds and everything. Like, you know what we have here, or to have your whole crew. You know, maybe you have, like, a clique. But also, maybe just try to find friends that are in your classes that you can just sit with. Maybe you find somebody who is, you know, maybe they've got the same major as you, and so you end up taking a lot of classes together. Maybe you don't hang out outside of class ever, but you know, like, every day you go to class, you guys get to sit together, you maybe talk about your weekend, and that's great too. I have one friend, he's my sociology friend, and you know what? He actually introduced himself to me first. He was new to the city, and so he really pushed himself out there, and we've now taken maybe like 5 classes together, and it's nice. I always get to see him every morning when I go to class. It's like, hey, how was your weekend? How are you? And that's nice too, just to have friends that you can go to classes with, even if you don't necessarily get to see them outside of that setting. Makes group work easier.
Yeah. And if you miss a class, hey man, you got the notes from today?
Exactly.
There you go. What's something people can ask besides what's your major to, like, open a conversation?
Where are you from?
Where are you from? Yeah.
What's something interesting about you? I mean, that's a super hard question. Like, just last week, I actually had to do one of those weird introduce the person sitting next to you in my class.
I did that yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird for a university class, but hey, that professor, I mean, at first I didn't like it, but now I'm, like, reflecting on it, and thank you for forcing me to introduce myself to my classmates. It really just, you know, forces you to make friends, and you do have that person now to ask for notes.
Yeah. I like looking at, like, your surroundings. Like, specifically, like, say you're in class. What class is it?
Maybe you're taking sociology.
Yeah, so if you're taking a sociology class, it's an intro class. Person sitting beside you, you're like, oh, they look so cool. I want to be their friend. Maybe lean over and be like, hey, what's up? How are you doing? So why'd you take this class?
Yeah, why are you in this class? The answer really could surprise you.
And you can talk to them while you're in that class and maybe find some commonality, some shared interests.
At the end of the day, if it doesn't go anywhere, it also doesn't harm you in any way. And maybe you do have that person that you can ask for notes for, or maybe you never talk to them again. I definitely met some people in my first year that we sat next to each other because I smiled, I invited them in, and she came over, we chatted, realized that we really didn't have any common opinions or interests, so we just kind of ended it there, but that was okay. It wasn't aggressive, it wasn't rude. Yeah. Nobody's out to attack you.
Nobody's out to attack you.
This is university, we're all uncomfortable all the time.
Ooh, also, like, if someone's wearing, like, a rockin' jacket, people love compliments. Be like, hey, dude, I love your jacket. Or, hey, that's a really nice color on you.
Take this as your opportunity to practice small talk. Anybody that works in the service industry, you maybe have this down already.
That's your superpower.
Yeah, implement it in daily life. The art of small talk is a dying form. With the, rise of just texting and social media and just digital media in general. Take this opportunity while you can.
Yeah. What's the harm in trying?
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening today. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If there is something that you want us to talk about in the future, be sure to contact us. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at wheatqueens.bu. You can also send us an email at wheatqueens.bu@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you and know what your guys' thoughts are, if you have any constructive criticism, if there's something that we can help you with, or if there's just something that you want us to know about you, or that you want us to talk about at a later episode. If you're looking for friends, just message us. We'd love to hear from you. What are you going on?
Seize the day. Carpe Dm Me.
That was so good. I never want to hear it again.
Okay, no, it hit. It hit.
Okay.
You laughed, it hit.
All right.
I also, before we go, gotta correct myself. Last episode, I said something about yoga being offered in the School of Music every Friday at 2:30. It's actually every Friday from 1:40 to 2:30. So 2:30 is when it ends. And it's in room 143 with instructor Jen Shields.
There you go, guys. Another opportunity to go out there and meet people. Just don't talk while you're doing the yoga, because it is a Zen space. But talk with them before the class starts or after.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you have yoga in common.
All right.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for listening. Have a great day.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Do you want to cheers our tea?